Hello and welcome to All Important Words, the podcast that helps learners of English master the academic word list. This is Bek
and Jim, and we've got another interesting and useful academic word to share with you. Beck, what's today's word?
Today's word is ambiguous.
Okay, what is it?
Well, I'm telling you that today's word is ambiguous.
What? Like, do you want to say that the word we're planning to introduce is not clear or difficult to understand? What exactly do you mean by ambiguous?
Well, Jim, our actual word for today is ambiguous.
Oh, I see. Now I know what you mean. So it's ambiguous, right?
Correct, it is ambiguous. The stress is on the second syllable. Ambiguous. Ambiguous. And in today's show, we will introduce its adjective meaning.
What does ambiguous mean, Beck?
Well, something that is ambiguous is unclear, confusing, or not certain, especially because it can be understood in more than one way.
Thanks for the definition, Beck. And here's an example for ambiguous. Number 1. A sentence that employs ambiguous words leads readers to misunderstand.
In other words, if you use ambiguous words in your sentence, and most likely people who read your sentence might not be able to understand what you have written. Why? Well, because your words are ambiguous.
The words you use are not clear or simply confusing. Do you have an example sentence for ambiguous?
Yes, here it is. Number 2. Many English words can have ambiguous meanings in isolation.
I'm sure that's true. Do you have an example?
Actually, I do. I was reading a newspaper the other day and I came across the following newspaper headline. Officials help dog bite victim.
Okay, now I know what you mean. This headline is a bit ambiguous, you're right.
Jim, could you please explain why officials help dog bite victim can be ambiguous?
Sure. So when you read this newspaper headline for the first time, you might think that these officials are actually helping a dog bite someone who is a victim, which is both scary and it doesn't really make sense. Then, when you look at it more closely, you'll see that it might mean the officials are actually helping someone who was the victim of a dog bite. It's a newspaper headline. That's why they want to make it catchy. But anyway, the wording in the headline is ambiguous because it has more than one meaning.
Thanks for your explanation. So, in the dog bite example, the meaning is highly ambiguous. What other nouns can we use with ambiguous?
Well, we can say an ambiguous meaning, an ambiguous phrase, an ambiguous sentence, an ambiguous statement, an ambiguous term, an ambiguous word, and an ambiguous wording.
Ambiguous wording. It basically means that the word used is confusing or not clear. For example, number 3, we were confused by the ambiguous wording of the message.
Good example. Sometimes I hear this word with other nouns such as evidence, findings, and results. Let me give you a sentence where results is used. Number 4. The results of the study were ambiguous and failed to support our original hypothesis.
Let me ask you a quick question regarding your last sentence. Imagine your friend comes up to you and says, the results of your study were ambiguous. Don't you think it's too direct?
I think I know what you mean, Beck. By now, we know that ambiguous means something that's not clear or confusing. English learners can always use adverbs to show the level of ambiguity.
Okay, for example, how can you use adverbs with the previous sentence? Can you just say, the results of your study were highly ambiguous?
Yes, highly ambiguous is a common adverb collocation. Learners of English can also say somewhat ambiguous, slightly ambiguous, and very ambiguous.
Thanks, Jim. This certainly helps. From now on, I will do my best to give only clear sentences. I will avoid ambiguous words and ambiguous sentences in my examples.
Sounds good to me. I just have a quick question for you, though. Why did you decide to cover ambiguous in today's show? Is there a reason for it?
Well, the reason is that last week, one of our all-star listeners and followers, Sevara GGH, asked us to cover this word in today's show. For this reason, we decided to cover this word.
Well, thanks, Savara GGH, for requesting the word. So, All-Stars, if you're confused or unclear on how to use any AWL words, please let us know and we can cover that word in an upcoming episode. We'd be happy to do it.
Okay, all stars, remember, you can find a lot of great AWL related stuff at our website, allimportantwords.com, including a link to the online version of the Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English, which is where we got the definition used in today's show.
And if you have a question or a comment, let us know by using the contact link on our website or by leaving a comment on our Facebook page at facebook.com/allimportantwords. We'd love to hear from you.
Until our next word, bye!
Bye!